Hello dear students. Today in this video we are going to discuss about the various methods to control fire. In our previous live interaction we have discussed the various types of combustion, including slow combustion, rapid combustion, spontaneous and explosion. So now let us discuss about how can we control these various types of combustion, or you can say fire. Because sometimes the sudden outbreak of fire into some places, into buildings, houses, and also into the forest causes serious destruction and damages, including human lives. So we are going to discuss about various methods. How can we control this fire? So first of all, we need to understand about what leads to the breakout of fire. I mean, how the substances, any combustible substances catches fire, right? So as we know that there are various supporters of combustion, or there are various conditions that are necessary for combustion to occur. So in order to control the fire, we have to limit, or we can say we have to prevent the contact of those supporters, which include the oxygen, then a combustible substance, and ignition temperature. So if these three supporter, or any of these supporter is blocked or is removed, then automatically fire will be put off, right? So first method to control fire is with the use of water. As water is water lowers down the temperature, so it can lower down the ignition temperature of the combustible substance, and as a result it can put off the fire, or it can control fire. So our number one method is the use of water to lower down the ignition temperature of a combustible substance, right? Then secondly, that is soda acid, you can say the soda acid extinguisher. Here the soda, when it reacts with sulfuric acid, it produces carbon dioxide and water. So carbon dioxide and water both are used as an agent to control fire, as carbon dioxide is heavier than oxygen and it forms a layer over the substance and cut off the oxygen supply. On the other hand, the water will help in lowering down the ignition temperature. So in this way, the soda acid reaction, or soda acid, can also help in controlling the fire, right? So that is our number two, that is use of soda acid extinguisher. Now next is carbon dioxide as an extinguisher, because we know that the breakout of fire on some buildings or some houses can be due to an electrocution, right? So during an electrocution, or during such incident, we cannot use water as a fire extinguisher, because we know that water is a good conductor of electricity, and the person may be electrocuted, and it can be serious destruction. I mean, it can take away the life of people who are about to control the fire, right? So in this situation, we will not use water if the fire is due to some electrocution or some other reason, right? So in such a condition, we will use carbon dioxide as one of the fire extinguisher. So this carbon dioxide cylinder is familiar to you. You may have seen it in various places, including your school, including hospitals, police station, railway station, etc. So this carbon dioxide gas, which is stored in a cylinder, which are available to many public places, many areas, which helps in controlling the fire. For example, in your school also, as in case of an emergency. So this carbon dioxide gas is used as a fire extinguisher, since it is heavier than the oxygen, and we know that oxygen is one of the supporter of fire, or one of the supporter of combustion. So as a result of this, carbon dioxide will form a layer over the combustible substance, and as a result it will cut off the supply of oxygen, or it will cut off the contact of combustible substance with the oxygen. As a result, the fire can be controlled. Right, so this is our third point, or the third method by which we can control fire. And number 4, we can also use sand, right? So this sand also you may have seen it into various places, including hospitals and police station, etc., and also in railway station, that they are hung on a hanger with a bucket, and in the bucket you can see that there are sand. So this sand are also used as an agent to control fire, as the sand are non-combustible substance. It does not catch fire, and moreover, if we put the sand on the fire, it will automatically be turned off, or it will automatically put off, because it will block the oxygen supply to the combustible substance, right? Then number 5, you can write about using a blanket, and if the blanket is wet, it is much better, right? So this can be used in case when you cannot use sand. For example, if there is a leakage in the gas cylinder, the LPG gas cylinder, you cannot use sand, and also in your house there is no carbon dioxide available, and in this case water also cannot help in putting off the fire. So in such situation, what you can do is use a blanket or a bed sheet. You soak it into a water, and then you cover the entire cylinder with the wet blanket or the bed sheet. So in this way it will cut off the oxygen supply, and the fire will be automatically stopped, right? So this is the 5th method by which we can control fire. So in this way we have understood, or we know now, that the key principle or the key method to control fire is to remove or to cut off the supply of those supporters of combustion. That is number 1, oxygen, number 2, a combustible substance, and number 3, ignition temperature, right? So for any substance to burn, any combustible substance to catch fire, these 3 supporters are very essential. Without the absence of any of these, the substance cannot catch fire. So our key principle in order to control fire will be to stop this supporter, or to prevent this factor, to prevent the oxygen supply, suppose, or to lower down the ignition temperature, right? Or to remove the combustible substance in order to control the fire, right? So with this our discussion ends here. I hope my explanation will help you in understanding your topic well. So in this way you can write 5 points in order to control fire. Number 1, water. Number 2, soda acid extinguisher. Number 3, carbon dioxide cylinder. Then number 4, sand. And number 5th, you can write wet blanket, or simply you can write a blanket or a bed sheet, right? So with this I end my explanation, and I hope you have understood it well. So thank you so much for today.